Hi, there's been a lot of talk lately about Trump's wall. I'm here to tell you why it, much like our southern border, is going to fail, and actually how to solve illegal immigration. To begin with, it starts with a time-old tale of politicians misdirecting our anger at the wrong group of people. But we'll get to that later. First, let's just talk about the physical ridiculousness of this wall. It's a 25-foot wall, right? So the common joke is build a 26-foot ladder, and that kind of works. But now, I know we're going to have the best and the brightest. We're going to have drones everywhere jerking off two little midgets. And, we're going to see those people trying to get over the walls. So that's just not going to happen, right? Well, you know what does get over a wall? A plane. 40% of illegal immigrants come into this country via plane and just overstay their visas. 40%, right off the bat. It's almost a 50% failure rate of this stupid wall. Okay? The other thing that can go around walls are tunnels, under walls. But, and this one's supposed to go 3 feet under, so that's what, 4 feet, 5 feet you have to dig down? Okay, let's, watch out for the ultrasonic lasers that are monitoring seismic activity and whatnot. Let's just go 20 feet down. Why not? As soon as we get under the ground, we can take as much time as we want to because they can't see us. Now, I realize that's probably a rarity and is not going to happen all that often. So let's just forget about that entirely. Let's just keep with that cool, easy 40%. Okay? So 40% of the people getting in this country illegally and taking our jobs still get here illegally. Doesn't solve it. So how do we solve it? Well, I've got a way that's not going to cost taxpayers a single dime. In fact, will make us some money, is much more ethical, and actually solves the problem, the root of the problem itself. So let's think about this. To have a job, it requires a contract between a person taking the job and a person giving the job. Who are we angry at? Are we angry at the person in power who's taking all the jobs and providing? No, we're angry at the person who's not in power, the person who's downtrodden, the person who doesn't have rights. We're not angry at the person in power making the decision to give them a job in the first place. What happens if you take away a market? Or if you take away all the product from a market? Your buyers dry up. So if you take away the market of these jobs, the buyers, or in this case, the illegal immigrants who are having these jobs, dry up. They go away. There's no reason for them to be here if they can't get a job. So instead of actually, busing families that have been here for a long time away and breaking everybody up and all this border patrol and the violence and all the nonsense that it doesn't solve, let's go ahead and attack the problem at the source, the people giving away the jobs. And there's somebody, he likes to build towers, hired like a whole bunch of illegal Polish immigrants. Man, name escapes me, but people like him. Those are the people that supply this job market. And if you impose hefty fines on them, again, not only does it not cost us anything other than the prosecution of some of these cases, but if you make the fines high enough, who cares, right? It will actually give us money because we'll say, okay, you've got all this money to hire illegal immigrants. Let's go ahead and fine you then and take all of that money away. And then where do these illegal immigrants go? Back home. If there is no job for them to have, they can't be here. So, and let's I said I might, have a soft spot for illegals later. Right now, I'm looking at, they make up roughly 5% of our workforce, and 15% of those jobs are construction jobs and extraction jobs. 14% are in production, installation, repair. 13% are sales and office administration, and 13% hold professional management or business or finance. That was a Pew study in 2012, I think. So yeah, I mean those are good jobs. Those are definitely better than picking lettuce in the fields like you hear all the time, or just sitting around at Home Depot. We know those jobs exist, but the point is there are good jobs out there that illegal immigrants are taking. I'm not trying to argue that it just doesn't exist, but the point is those employers know they're illegal, and even if they have doctored documents to make them look legitimate, pretty sure most of those people know they're illegal. And yes, I'm sure there's some scam artists that do slip through the cracks and people legitimately have no idea. But for the vast majority of the part, people know they're illegal. And they just don't care because it's cheap labor. And no one's calling them on it. They get away with it. So why wouldn't they do that? I mean, have we ever heard of corporations, using loopholes or getting away with stuff at the behest of the American people? No, that's a foreign concept, right? No. They get away with it because we let them. So if we then attack the source, attack the employer, and take away those jobs, then we will solve illegal immigration and maybe make a little bit of cheddar on the side. So some other stuff about illegal immigrants. They actually, I hear all the time. Well, they take besides taking our jobs, they take public welfare or they take other public services. Well, for a large part, no, they don't, because to qualify for those public services, you need documents. Now, again, I realize there are people that can doctor certain documents and make them look legitimate, but most people don't have the money to pay for those types of documents, especially for sick children and all these other sob stories that you hear about how they're using our services for welfare and all kinds of free medical care and things like that. But really, the reality of it is they do pay taxes. They pay $12 billion in taxes. That was from a study, I believe, in 2013. So yeah, that's quite a bit that they pay into our tax system that they can't use all of, because again, they don't have the documents to use the services that their taxes pay for. And so you're like, well, how can they be paying taxes if they don't have their documents, right? Either they do have their documents and they pay their taxes and they get to use those services, or they don't have their documents. When you buy food or goods or other services, you pay tax. Does anyone ask you for your documents? No. That's a large part of the taxes that are paid. They buy goods and services in America. Yes, I realize there are people who send their money back to their homes and whatnot and try to provide for entire families based off of meager wages they make here. I realize that happens. But them living, even while they're working here, them living here and paying for things here means they pay taxes into our system. There is also employer tax, where they pay employers pay taxes on goods and services that they sell that were built by illegal immigrants. So they are being taxed on the force and the services of illegal immigrants. So yeah, they actually pay into our system. Again, there's this guy, I keep forgetting his name. He didn't pay taxes for a whole long time because he lost like $1 billion and he's a terrible businessman. I don't know. Yeah, there are people that get away with not paying taxes, and they don't pay some taxes because of the documents that they lack, but they do pay taxes into the system. So, they're not nearly, first of all, they're not nearly as terrible as you think they are. They actually provide some services that Americans wouldn't want to work for. They do pay taxes into our systems. And the crime thing. That's the other thing that people get really up in arms about. So, if you and your family were at risk of being thrown out of the country by any attention being paid to you, would you commit crime? Would you go around murdering people, raping people, bringing your drug dealers and rapists and all that stuff? Would you do that if you knew that would bring greater scrutiny to you and your family and get you thrown out? How about the people who know they work with illegal immigrants and commonly use the threat of, I'll turn you into INS? Or how about all those funny videos where guys go to Home Depots, they find a whole group of illegal immigrants, and then they take them to INS. Oh, super funny, right? Get you and your whole family thrown out of the country and break everything up. Yes, I realize they came in here illegally, so they don't deserve it or whatever. But the point is, they don't commit nearly as many crimes. In some cases, they commit less than a third of the crime that native-born people do because they don't want attention paid to them. Just use common sense. So, let's recap. The wall to begin with is idiotic. Immigrants actually do pay taxes, and yes, they do use some services, but they probably pay a lot more taxes than services they use. They don't commit nearly as many crimes as native-born citizens. And if you want to get rid of this entire thing, if you think all the stuff I'm just spewing at you is false, you can't argue with the fact that if we get rid of the people who give the jobs out, then people can't take the jobs. So, talk to your congressman, and let's figure out a way to impose hefty fines upon those people that give illegal immigrants jobs. And let's solve this. It'll be fun. Yay!